let's go ahead and return the material page route with the nameless function and type about web. Inside the text, let's pass the args variable. Now, in the settings property, we have to pass the settings variable. Once we're done, we can reformat the code. Everything looks fine, but what if someone tries to put a different route in the URL of the browser by mistake or in order to access sensitive information? Well, in such a case, we need to put route guards. So, this way, if someone gives an invalid route, they're gonna be redirected to the error page. But don't worry, it's extremely easy to do. In the switch case, there is something called default. That means if none of the case matches, the default lines are gonna be executed. So, in the default statement, we can return a material page route with a function. But instead of the equals and greater than signs, I am giving brackets just to remind you that it is also possible to use brackets in place of the signs. Here, you can make a complete custom error page, but I am just going to keep it simple. So let me return a center widget and give it a child of a text widget, and then write error page within quotes. Give it a semicolon over here. That's it. Now, whenever you try to use a route other than a specified one, the text error page will show up. It's time to head back to the Material app where we need to connect the routes class. So, inside on generate route, we have to write a function with a parameter. I am gonna name it settings. The settings is going to get the URL details and the navigation details whenever there is some navigation going on. Now, what we're gonna do is call the function. So let's write routes.generateRoute and pass the settings variable. Also, what we need to do is pass an argument from the home web to the about web through the navigator. To do that, let's head to the navigator push named and tap into the arguments property. And we can pass the string, which is going to be displayed on the about page. I'm gonna write Paulina Knop over here. Once it's all done, we can finally run the app. And if we click on the button, we will find out that we are navigated to the About page. We'll also get to know that we have successfully passed a variable. Moreover, we can see that in the home page, there is a slash in the URL bar. On the other hand, if we go to the About page, you can see that we are getting the /about. Those are the names of the routes we can see in the URL. Now, let's say that a user points out a different route which does not exist. For example, to something like about STATS. In this case, when they press enter, they will be redirected to the error page that looks just like this. And by clicking on the back button, they will be able to head back to the home page. If you observe the URL bar carefully, you will surely notice an annoying hash over here. It makes the URL look a bit confusing for the users. So, what we can do to solve it is use a package called URL strategy. It has already been imported to the project. Let's go to the main.dart then. And in order to use this package, we can simply write set path URL strategy before the run-up. And the package will take care of everything else. Great. Let's go ahead and stop the app. After stopping the app, run it again. And you will find out that the hash and other unnecessary data is gone. Moreover, on the home page, there is no slash either, as it's been removed by the package. This is exactly how the home page URL is supposed to look, completely without names. When you go to the About page, you will see /about in the URL. At this point, I would like to talk about shifting the web version of a page to its mobile version when the screen or the device size changes. So, the ideal way to go would be creating a layout builder and passing About Mobile and About Web pages respectively, depending on the screen sizes, while keeping the same name of the route. Let's go ahead and cut out the home web here. The second thing I'm gonna do is call the layout builder in its place. Inside the builder, I want to put context and constraints. And then inside the brackets, let me put if constraints dot max width is greater than 800, we can return the home web, or else we can return the home mobile. If you're still not clear about how to use a layout builder, you can check out the beginning of the module called Portfolio. Let's go ahead and remove this extra bracket over here. So, just like we did it for the home route, we can put a layout builder for the About route too. Also, the About mobile page is incomplete, as we still need to show a text that in our case would be Paulina Knopp on the screen, which has been passed by the previous page it was navigated from. So, we need to make sure that we accept the text and show it on the page the way we have done it in the About web file. And in order to do it, let's go to the About mobile file, create a variable text similar to the one we created in the About web, then add the formal parameters. I am also going to copy this text widget from the About web and paste it in the About mobile. Let's go ahead and inside the onPressed function, write navigator.pop. Heading back to the routes file, I am going to put the layout builder. If constraints.maxWidth is greater than 800, then it needs to return the About web, and in the brackets I am going to pass the args variable, which is going to be shown on the About page. Let's go ahead and write else return About mobile, then pass the text variable. Once we're done over here, we can run the app. Let's wait for a second. And it showed up. Notice that if you reduce the size of the browser, it changes from the web file to the home mobile. And when you increase it, it shifts to the web file again. Now, when you click on the button, you're obviously redirected to the About page. And the text About web changes to About mobile. Great! The last thing that I need to do is add the navigation from the home web to the home mobile file. So let me copy these two lines and paste them inside the onPressed in the home mobile file. Now you're able not only to change the layout to mobile version, but also to navigate from the mobile version of homepage to About page. And that's all you need to know about the navigation in Flutter. You can go ahead and download the complete project from the resources. See you in the next lesson.